what many of us don't realise is the only way that this truth will grow on this planet is for each of us to embrace it. That's the only way it grows. Because when we make the soul changes inside of ourselves, now the other persons who are ready to listen to truth but need somebody to teach them have a teacher. You see, all we need to do is get the teachers ready, and the world is full of people desiring truth, many more than what is here in this audience. And when the teachers are ready, more people can come. And that's exactly what happened in the first century. And they had spent 3.5 years with me listening, as some of you have now spent 3 years listening, have you not? Who's had 3 years or so? So there's a few in the audience who had 3 years listening. So they spent so they knew me for the amount of time you've known me. And they've had that amount of time listening. And then because of my death, feel all these different emotions, then feel the truth of it. And then as the divine love comes and enters them, now they're in a state where they're ready to be given these gifts from celestial spirits to help the momentum. And God has historically given different gifts to the planet based on the momentum. Remember I said, and you would have heard this quote perhaps, that if I can't speak, the stones will speak out. So in the end, God has a plan to have the divine truth come to this planet. And that plan began many, many years before I arrived in the first century, and you and I are a part of this plan. But we have to embrace it. We have to embrace it. God doesn't cause you to be a part of the plan without your will being involved. Your will must be involved. So when you exercise your will to avoid your emotions and avoid changing the belief systems you have, and avoid changing your acceptance of truth, and all of those things, you are exercising your will, and all it's doing is actually keeping you away from being a part of this greater plan that God has. And when you turn that around, and when you say, oh no, what I'm going to do instead of that is I'm going to connect to God, connect to her in truth. I'm going to work through my emotions, work through my beliefs, work through my morals, and do all of these things, not for anyone else, not for AJ, the world, or anybody else. You do it because of you, and you're having a desire for love, and primarily your desire and passion for God inside of you. And when you do that and actually do it, rather than just talk about it, what happens is everyone around you will feel it. Some will be angry, some will be upset, some will be happy, but everyone will feel it. And as they feel it, the people who want truth in their lives will be attracted to it. And that's the beauty of you exercising faith now. Because, see, the people who exercise the faith on the flimsiest of excuses are the ones that have the most longest term benefit. If you watched me in the first century, and one day you'll be able to see pictures of all of your lives, including my own, and all of it, and so you'll be able to see what happened in the first century. If you watched a picture of me looking at a little bug on my hand and connecting that to God, right, that was pretty much the flimsiest of excuses for me to connect to God, if you think about it, right, in terms of the judgment of everyone around me. But my desire and passion started growing from those moments, just like yours can. And when in the end we get to the stage where now we're in this state where we have so much faith and our faith is supported by the evidence, supported by the proof. And when we're in this state of having so much faith, we can from that moment on progress so rapidly and help so many other people progress as well, just by exercising that faith. And we don't even need to be at one with God yet to prove the existence of God's love, to prove the existence that God actually exists, to prove the truth. We don't even need that yet because we're in this state where we're feeling it inside of ourselves as a truth, and we're acting upon it without fear. And that's the beauty of faith. That's what faith does to you. Faith changes you so much and forces you into action, right? And that's why the words that are written in the Bible are so important to remember in a way. that faith without works is dead. Is a dead faith. In my opinion, there's really no such thing as a dead faith. If faith is dead, there wasn't faith there in the first place. The truth is that faith will always motivate you to action. So if there is not any action going on in your life at the moment, or you're feeling like, everything's quite stagnant, look at your faith. Look at how much you believe God is there waiting for you. Look at how much you believe God is this loving, perfect person who wishes to give you her love. And look at why you're rejecting it. Just allow yourself to conceive what's going on. And understand that when we don't act, what we are doing is just proving to ourselves that our faith isn't there.